The piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutate.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil. Red-dyed heavy fuel oil is only used in government vehicles, or at least that's the idea.
What did he think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock. Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage. I ain't no snitch, pigsty.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. The squished little thing has an I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket you wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still. What's interesting about the bullet thus far? A jacketed bullet, which would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle. Very interesting. You have an unusual military-grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need is to find a gun that could fire it. A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter. From the 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a certain antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking back at the station. The lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork to hand. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars. Gone. For you to discover. You've got someone who knows about history could tell you. The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten. The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. After spending an entire day hustling, beautiful things give you a rush. Remember, when they come to take it away from you, they're either a gateway drug. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah, why? It's a wall. An ordinary wall. You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, I'm Sandwich. You are not in danger. That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. Yes.
He means alcohol.
Correct, my small skull servant. Al Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasite.
Intentionally fermented drinks have existed for 10,000 years.
This is a fabrication the alchemists of Yizot and Bashir and their Rolam Al Ghul have fed your people. Go on believing in it. Good. There is a frit nearby. Congrats.
Oh yeah, Measurehead.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Look at my craniology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. You gave the world eugenics, electricity. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemian. You will be super...
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of... Bring your troops to the Simenine Islands and to Bugis. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the oaths to homosexuality.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshahed's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. The best idea. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Mao, of course. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredov, the Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteoran, the other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brain, as proven by the Maun and the Mesk. Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagites. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The latter is perfected in adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super-race. Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of
The Khoikhos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white officer in a suspect description.
To an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eye. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advance. The Khoiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Simonese and Areopagite. Revacholians, halfway between type A and the racial cauldron. Too mixed to know.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zarath-ridden potato carts. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from enough of Tibet mediocrity. Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and lesser races like the Mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a The Mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride.
It seems unlikely that 2 human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? The Khoiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich. This will never happen. The Simonese and the Khoiko may have similar but enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type CF. Were there any able-bodied races you needed? You understand nothing. To solve the great Race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Of course you are, Revacholian man. The failure above all. Rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Offshoots of the Seminese people invented disco while I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminese race. I can see that. The Seminese are the South Isle. We are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulembuir are with me in my genetic dreams. No, I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Couronne, and no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Sim. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to...
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your pathetic...
He had nothing to do with it.
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him.
The hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union alone. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my... Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence. Find out for yourself. Endomorphic blob. Racists are generally not very good at...
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting a fritter nearby. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobe.
Correct. There is nothing funky. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss.
Lorry stuck in the traffic jam.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe.
She looks up from under.
Fine. For it doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
You see a heavy steel door with...
Can I help you?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
The door is closed. Still nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world. That soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to... The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting, but the bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your...
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No. You have to stay, always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. But this suffering, it must have some kind of meaning. A story that will come out of it. Perhaps even a story that you will write yourself.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You're just stuck here. In the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Oh, baby boy. You're already in the other place.
Maybe if you know, like, took a lot of drugs, maybe if you cracked the damn thing, then you'd feel satisfied and tired. Holding the pic.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights blinking in it.
Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off his...
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, the door is closed. This door can... Still nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now. Yes, I am. I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere. But if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
I'm definitely not the cavalry. I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you? No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay. Okay, fine. Let's talk.
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
What precinct?
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith. Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Okay.
I'm just looking out for...
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Yes. A policewoman who just wants to do her job. That's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor. Wow, you seem stable and in control. Now what do you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in... He might be wearing a disguise.
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction. Or...
I'm not getting involved in this.
There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of an outfit, maybe. A uniform. I want to say, yes, I think.
Fucking politics again. You know what I'm more interested in? You solving the case you're on. I'm passionate about that, so maybe get to it. About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like? Exactly. No. 'Cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging? Actually, I don't want to hear you.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
You think he was hanged as a cover-up? To hide the shooting? Okay, well... I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. But
oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it? Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over. So, do you know who hanged him? Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. Why? Oh my god, there's more. Watch out for yourself.
that voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when...
Oh, really? I wonder where. That's the where you remember me from? Okay, then. It's probably a coincidence.
Yes? What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine? Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it.
So, he volunteered to represent. Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are two columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills.
Yes. I'm an unrepentant spoilsport.
The rows are endless. Jean Vicmer, Judith Minot, a special consultant. What was his name? Then the rows degrade into green nothing.
Well, technically. The official record keeper has been
a common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My fellow officers, the sergeants in particular. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares.
Clearly, he has already formed. It's all part of the master plan, you see.
Really? It can't be that. Are you sure? Who could say it's not true? If you really don't remember... Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to slight Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing...
I've considered it. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional. I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Yes? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember...
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag. There.
Okay. And? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez. Oh. Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech... Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzleloaders once they've trained.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple... But back to the investigation. Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself.
An intricate web of blue. It still kind of looks like a map of the...
I've got nothing to say to you. I am not.
You could be, Liz.
Even a mod?
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
So fucking what? Lots of models.
No, Glenn. They aren't.
This didn't change her. It's not her. She's not a hardy.
It's you again. What is it? Again. Just get the...
Good one, Titus.
About fucking time.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about...
It is such a pleasure to see you. Officer!
Everything's still cool here.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects, the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now.
Banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water. So remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening. Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yes. Crazy recklessness. I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns.
I don't know. An hour or two tops?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you, the hinges creak under your weight. Dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the...
Yes, it does. Let me think about it.
The tune on your lips forms a strange, yet the lieutenant gives you a quick glance. Then, still looking straight ahead, two birds on a wire, whistling. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
I'm pretty sure I told you already, didn't I? My dad and mom are both half-Silverite.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore...
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control... Yes, 41. What do you...
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. Does he know something about the driver of this vehicle?
A precinct, yes. A police precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach. No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and...
Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk. Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable. But overall, this machine is a right... People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly. That is very unlikely. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy you... Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only...
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the... Yes. Let's go take a look.
This is it, the scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point.
Looks like it. Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number. The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo, 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the badge in your hand shines as you rotate it.
Harrier Dubois. It suits you. I'm going to call you Harry, since it's short for Harrier. Not strange at all. Your name is Harrier Dubois, like it says on your police badge. It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during trouble.
A name like armor.
Why? It's a cool name. I like it. Besides, you're Harry in it.
The badge in your hands shines as you...
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken. Or sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank. In your case, lieutenant. Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revolution.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. That's basically. Kings like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained. You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge. Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. Good.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber.
That's just the serial number.
The numbers are not there for good measure. They have...
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted. A new badge usually comes with a new rank.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better?
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a...
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. So he knew all those people, although they're not from his... The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench.
We can sit on benches after we've solved them.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
My mom's outside, and I don't really know about my dad. It's a grouse.
Wasn't Garth, the cafeteria manager, trying to repair a piece of taxidermy?
I don't know. Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It's Lammy. He's my friend. So...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One...
Yes. Very soft. Isn't he soft? Bye!
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come. Oh, welcome, police officer.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen. Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it?
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Maybe they have, because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of... look at me ramble on. Stay. Most people here are trying to live. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside, so we don't have to give money to those crooks. Aye, the room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a...
When Varson communist revolutionary Ignace Nielsen was in hiding, he stayed in a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months.
Go ahead. Call people rude things. We've heard worse here. Now, don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. This is pretty much a non-place.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in...
It's cold.
Riddles. Fits with the general...
Aye. Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost in... Oh, it seems to be a common theme these days. Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Something I can do for... Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox. An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be. After the war, it was turned into a Goodwill hospital. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets. The Goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. And then there's the drugs. Not a pretty sight. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Not here, for you? No, officer. The only money we have...
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find. She nods, rinsing another.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the Dolorian Church of Human. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go...
So, they don't hold service?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accident. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins. An apartment complex. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. No one. That's why it's closed. Now, what catch we do bring in goes... What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? Used to be a supply depot, we think. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Now it's your turn, Mr... Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them...
The door has seen better days.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out. After we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling.
The key turns with a satisfying. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in... On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. Your hand trembles as you scratch your cheek. Oh no, that's not how a grown man shaves. Stop, for crying out loud. You're gonna cut your own throat. The razor lands with a clang. A red trickle begins. The water reflects back, a vague image of your... A fresh start looms ahead.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called... The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they... The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for...
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like. Right. Not only snowmen, also green...
Oh, you're getting it.
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides... I don't think I know what these are. Aha! Like, two old guys have been wandering around here. I don't really know. Further down... Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids. I sell the fish to people in the delta. Sometimes I also walk...
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see bottles, drugs also, lost cargo.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Don't have any. Those get cleaned out so fast even the local bums can only stand by and watch with watery mouths. Always by strangers too. Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's too intimidating. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I use to keep these animals in check. You put me in it. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like... Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world, but that's...
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up Guess I enjoyed the way he bled. Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a... Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry. Aye. Sunny days. You got...
No, ma'am. We have no quarrel.
Good. 'Twould have been bad news had it turned out it was...
There's a moment's silence. She looks at the slushy snow melt on the yellow belly of the boat.
In time, when the sea turns and the winds settle, she will be ready.
My prediction, it will be at least 2 days.
Oh? Who? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be... The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his...
Yes. Yes.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden as...
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. The rock kicker was just being shut.
You're bad with kids. Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
This one doesn't say anything.
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. The other one laughs as well. Wow, so intellectually stimulating.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up?
Does he actually know you? Or is he just shopkeep friendly?
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine. See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture. You know, it's funny, actually.
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
What?
Keep him talking.
This guy. Oh, this is medicinal spirits, the good stuff. I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go. It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor. Those arseholes charged me £4 to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all. But the idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what... Like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila. What's left?
Snakes or intestine?
2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want.
Don't say it.
Yeah, be careful. It's extremely flat.
Feels like someone set a mustard field ablaze right inside your nose. That, in all fairness, that might be attributed.
So, what's the deal, friend? Want the spirits or not? 3 real and it's yours, friend.
Well done. You got it. That's a much more reasonable price right there. Makes sense now.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
If you drink this, then you'll die. That's a fact. And that's why we're going to save you from yourself and store this as a sellable item.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shop.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the... So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset.
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang.
That's the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image. Long time. Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral Land.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation.
We are saving...
Please! Please don't go!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're... So now, it's a pirate's life from... It's you. You're Tequila... We've met before.
No, you sure don't.
Aha. Do you want to know? Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into... Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage.
Do you remember the sound of...
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police... So, naturally, being the curious cat... The time hath come for Tequila Sunset! Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice. We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep.
In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common.
Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from then on. I'm not sure. I think you were the event. Tequila Sunset. You know, yeah, I agree. Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about revolution. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you
Wow.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around.
If you only knew.
Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no...
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
Yeah, you said that it was okay that you crashed your carriage because... This was before you started talking about how... You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked.
No one's fucked me. Oh,
Abigail! It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers, whose main interest was No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. You kept calling yourself a goddamn super...
As you've already determined, the actual...
No thanks to the squares at the precinct. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right. Why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really.
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation requires booze. Did you already forget our party? So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. Classy.
hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to me. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior part. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm. But the burden of 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. It did, with my trusty Sansaric but now dreams are worn thin, much like... One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys.
His eyes are clouded. His eyes are...
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was... Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim, Joe. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment, I wish I were Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them... People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-up. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since... Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? I don't remember you being such a dick before, Tequila. That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. Anyway, that was all the tale one bottle gets you. Good fucking question, Tequila. I used to own my reality situation. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last...
A lost jacket. Sounds like a mystery you could look into.
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically... Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom spiral out. Solve the case of the missing... Yeah, exactly. You're here to... If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it. My agency, man. The Boom Boom. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of... I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol.
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
I know! It was fucking awesome! What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins. Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be... And then there's the smell.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me...
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next... My fellow members of the Union...
Hey! Tequila!
Shut the fuck up,
I thought he was a cool...
Don't call...
And this is Abs. I'm all ears, Tequila. What's in a name?
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call...
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. So you don't want to... I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift. Then I can't keep on telling the stories. Wonderful. Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue in... You too.
Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literal. In short, art is the highest form. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic. With that beard, yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made. Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive... Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the... Go ahead and provide savage criticisms. The noxious odor emanating from the drunken...
Don't you call her! Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk. He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call. Don't call Abigail.
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible.
There's no use in yelling at drunks.
The drunk man starts coughing.
Don't you fucking call her. Hear me? Don't call.
There was little chance he'd be real.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow there, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare, chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio, number 312D. Young girls used to come here. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until there's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away. Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle. The wind moves the aerosol. A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand, hearing you approach.
Oh, hello there.
Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little loud.
So should you. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat. I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me. A cell.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features.
Why? Okay, it's Burger.
A very common name.
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone. A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike. No, you're welcome.
Yeah, I record stuff with it. No. This is a contact microphone. It's for recording inside solid objects. Contact mic just beats people up. The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound.
An entire litany spews forth.
Man, you are one weird cop. What is it with you and this Mike guy? Okay, if it floats your boat, I'll be more like Contact Mike and less like me. Uh-huh. Good on you. Same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum. Oh man. You haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole... It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck, or really be a Palaceum going kind of person. I don't know what that means either. That's cool. Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps? Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound. My boyfriend sold them. I don't know, man. Things.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizer.
Take this, your call.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat. Thanks. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really not.
And who are these boys?
Yeah, Andre and the guy.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. Music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's... Yep. They were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us.
It's probably amphetamine. It makes you feel impervious to the elements, but doesn't actually make you any...
I got my recordings to do. I feel better outside. Go ahead. It's supposed to become like a club for anodic dance, except that, yeah. You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments, synthesizers and tape consoles, microcomputers.
This is an evolutionary step up from amplified instruments, which in turn are a step.
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right? Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something? Go ahead.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup. The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
What is? I can't believe this turned into another mic thing. Fine. So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer? Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want it. What is it? Oh. Really? Wow. Social justice really matters that much to you? That's commendable. It really had you shaken up there. Are you sure that's it, though? Yeah, man. They're pretty bad.
3.6 billion, not counting those in sale.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Are you sure you're not just hung up on some chick, though? Okay. Why'd you think that? Wow, man. That's pretty symbolic. Don't you think? Okay. What else? There you have it then, chick trouble. Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this, chica. Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you? How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing? Yeah, or it might be that.
It's obvious she's done.
Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank. You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly... You're welcome. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten, though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't... Okay, bye.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside,
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out. Sorry, you barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old. I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep one.
a young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along.
Hardcore! It's hardcore! Skibber-dee, skibber-danger. I am the rearranger.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think? The young man with the tape recorder
This is hardcore. Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core! All right! Yeah!
He furrows his brow as his very large head traced.
Hardcore! Ah!
Is it though? But is it? I mean, really?
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chicks checker. Back to the heavyweight jam. Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core!
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore! Ah!
The question is, what is the question? But there was no question.
Vic, true. Hardcore, hardcore, internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yakokata, the place to be. It's the message, so listen and you will see. No one. Vic, true. Hard, internally coherent. All core, all right. Yeah.
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore! Ah!
Is it though?
One mind, one spirit.
You see a youngish man bleaching the...
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure.
There is definitely something futuristic about his hair. Imbecilic. Yes, should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecile. His grip is strong, sweaty, and...
This is my posse.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg! Together with a Cell Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation. We have many in the pipeline, officer.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet.
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish... Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in...
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues. Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical... I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge. Dopeheads!
Burnouts.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs. Strike that! The world! And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
The spooky kind. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. All right, man. I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly. The young man with ribcage-shaped the word august used as an adjective. That's how cool it feels to be old and cool in the eyes of the young.
Not long. Like a week, maybe? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term.
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I don't know. What the...
Oh, yeah.
I knew you'd get it. You're one...
He nods attentively, ready to...
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it. Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even... Well, there's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned. Empty.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us.
No.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone, or something, eyeing us inside. Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human.
Not human? As in a ghost?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the sea. Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and...
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting air...
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures, and not known for climbing walls.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it.
So he hasn't even been in there lately.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Well, honestly,
This is a below-feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure there's some... Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from? Sure. What? He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies. Well, he's just kinda here. I don't really know how to communicate with him. Yeah, sometimes. When I, stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first, though.
The man smiles mysteriously. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding...
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
You know, of Meteo. Concerning Meteo. Meteo, a country on Muindi. On the Muindi.
One of the poorest of the first world nations today, but once a great ancient.
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a and they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericanassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. You're totally wrong about that.
The Pericanassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. Love.
Unit.
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters. Feels good.
Yeah! Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew. I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You've got...
Yes. What? Yeah, good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. Oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
It does. Told you we have a smell problem. Ether? I don't smell ether. No.
He sniffs the air. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and, however, their breathing is regular. Their jaws stay at least not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, so...
The what now? Oh, the old...
He's like an actor. Look into this.
I have a major sinus infection, stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe. Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be... Nosafed is the shit. Yes. What?
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved. A number of things don't add up. How about gather around, kids? The young speed freak puts down the one with the large head. Their would-be leader is less amused.
But you still are.
What happened? I've been trying to say we need the next step in dancing.
Shut it!
What? I have! I've said that!
The young speed freak is silent.
We don't need drugs to be hardcore.
Shut the fuck up, Egg. Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all... What exactly is it you know? I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we've...
One speaker. They have one speaker.
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing. I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients. He said it was for his nose.
Likely pseudoephedrine. Almost exactly.
And of all cellular-based life,
What's your point, Lawbringer?
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether. What do you mean, friend? It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic.
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or...
No shit. That's... Come on, that's... I meant to say, not true. What do you mean, do? What do you mean by lenient? Okay, man, okay. Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lie.
Because we do!
We just need to turn it into a speed lab.
To get our foot in the door.
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking.
But the sign was way off, too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient. We can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings. No... As always, we'll be right here.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss... It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Yeah, gotta compare. See if... I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is weird stuff. Specialised. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some...
The People's Republic of Samara is a product of Revachel's sister revolution on the Gran Isola. It's known as a severely degenerated rogue state.
I know, man. I was just talking about the aesthetic. Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. Most of it doesn't exist. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment. I can see that. Further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve
We're closed. True, hard, full, hardcore. Yeah!
This young man adds a capital G before the H in his Yegs. Or maybe it's not Gotvalian. Maybe it's Oranese.
You know about him?
You know Van Eyck? Wow!
The skinny wraith looks...
So am I!
Oh! Is that why they call you Egghead?
Egghead to the Mega! The K became the G! The boy became the man! The Advent? We're close. True, hard, full, hardcore! Hardcore to the Mega! Here comes the night! We're close. True, hard, internally coherent.
all car, all right!
Gotta get the people going! I'm the party boy. It's my job. Hardcore party 25 seconds.
There is a place far away in Cutler, beyond a certain latitude, known as Winter's Orbit, where there are 25 hours. He furrows his brow and...
Hardcore! Ah! Is it though? But is it? I mean, really? No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love. Sometimes I just feel like Nordic music is in its infancy, you know? Isn't something holding it back from being... It's like...
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right.
If anything, it sounds a bit proto. Like it's not fully formed yet. You might be a moribund alcoholic and a failed cop, but you are pretty certain a thing cannot be both proto and hardcore.
Wow! Culture cop! I think you might be right, but how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hardcore, how could anything be? No! This is the answer! What? Guys, this... Oh, yeah!
But you're not. This is almost certainly a matter that...
I know! So does mine! Uh-huh. Oh. Yeah! No nation, but transnation! No war, but...
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things.
Yeah!
Unless you were thinking Revershaw imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with Eggs yelling. I know what you mean.
Hardcore superstar!
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Palaceum.
Yeah! With the red... I can be a communist. If you want that, do you...
Please don't turn him into a communist.
Oh yeah, turn him into a communist. Come on, it would be super.
I can be an ultra. If you want that, do you want me to be an ultra?
Please don't turn him into an ultra-liberal.
Oh, jeez. Please don't do that. There's enough exploitation in the world.
Aye! Yeah! Dark hardcore!
Basically, yes it is.
Lungs are for love! When Dolores Day was anointed innocent...
Why wouldn't they be? Are the lungs...
I think so.
But that's what everybody saw. Explain it as you please. But it doesn't really do to just deny it ever happened.
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate. In your heart that's alone.
What? Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Nordic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his...
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell.
Anyway,
That's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman! All right.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow, barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of the pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk. Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on the cloth, if you can still call it that, makes a soft crunching sound. The cloth, if you can still call it that, it's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
It's awful and familiar. It doesn't help. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. Something cold wakes it. It is death. It must be. The lieutenant has already brought... There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry.
A tragedy.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy... Red Astra is the black market version. You see traces of mayonnaise and... It's no older than a day. It's hard to concentrate in this. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural... The smell is not as bad as the 2...
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer.
Calm now. Carefully. Just another. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are raw. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the... This is what killed it.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether you see waves churning below. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole. And a .75 liter Tallulah vodka.
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
Rabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape. The blackness of death confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there.
He ate the whole pack, right? I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum.
The entire boardwalk.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this what to... But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think? We do know that he was married. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have death, but I think that death... No, I don't see anything that points in that direction.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, what?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone... It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure. Although there's still a question of identifying the body. From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. A field autopsy isn't necessary if I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report. Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. Alright. We should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the... Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased. Or whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Most of these titles seem to be in the side. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to... You see, a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Looks like tomorrow never came. Looks like tomorrow never came.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realized.
Nice to meet you.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of... No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used...
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on two...
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was...
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Felt had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a ticket, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Indeed.
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here.
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Tape computers. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out... What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created...
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short...
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombist. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paid.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center.
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockert. In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the... But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pays me. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources reported, who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hand. But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money.
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general. I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown.
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly buff.
I do some Lomantang.
Lomantang stick fighting is a form of martial arts originating from the island.
Actually, a great many cultures have their own version of stick fighting, such as the sacred Mabolo tradition of the Harley people. The name...
You doze off as he paints you a Man, he's good at speaking.
But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying? Then I guess everything got said, right? No, thanks to you for having me in little...
Pick your brain, if anything. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still, this feels wrong. End of tone.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Are you sure you're here?
Her voice is drowned in white noise. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did. There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man...
Who's there?
His self-conscious enthusiasm...
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. To what do I owe the...
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from you.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult to pass. Not like walking over a nice water...
Oh, good. We should really be...
Did he say we can go...
Yes, Gary! We can go soon!
Sir.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Well, first of all, it's damn good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea. And I suspect it may have also... It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain but I cannot describe how these defenses work.
A ghost insect, he said?
No, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoologists. I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the mega... Typical rookie assumption. Insects, even simply catching a glimpse of very little, I'm sorry to say. Not yet.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof...
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the fat...
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than... Yes, the most recent sighting was by a... It's the first credible sighting in several decades. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for...
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so... Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite... Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts. The phasmid, at least, that's locusts. Nearly all known...
Inside the traps, a number of locusts, a meat-eating stick insect.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material. They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using...
The traps do seem to be deftly...
Yes. What? And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. My wife understands that.
Come on, Morale.
And leave the traps? Absolutely.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we...
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified...
She's seen it?
Yes. That's how we first came. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian... No. The traps need to be monitored.
I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require great... There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technical...
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extract? Is it?
Bring it to me at once.
He's not comfortable with the possibility...
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you... It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last...
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you...
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and...
Finally!
Thank you for your help. Gary...
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss. But what if the information is vital? What about his eager-to-leave friend Gary there? Talk to him too, perhaps.
I've just always liked animals. And puzzles. It's not child's play. Just because I'm real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Indeed. My methods do not... No, as I said, I have yet to catch it.
Interesting. Something for later.
Everything from forgotten regional law...
He's interested in things that people believe.
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration. No. Very... Of the list of cryptids kept by the cryptos, 2 are categorized as... Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pig. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, indeed. If...
He has clearly done his math on this.
Yes? All right. What cryptids precise...
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. Since you...
A willow person. It's a long story.
Willow people? Not...
They're not people, really. Some argue they're very, very thin. Almost flat, in fact. And can camouflage them. You probably have. Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I chased it with a net. Not very...
A lavender shadow.
I know you think we were snacking on funny... Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
Confirmed. It's 100% verified. No offense, officer, but I'm not much... Me? I'm not a people person. Unless you haven't known. By all means.
Hello, I'm Gary. Yellow Man.
The lieutenant raises his... Yellow Man. Interesting.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we... I like nature, just not...
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
Dark times will do that to good men. Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about.
So you do...
No. Nothing. He was some...
He's not feeling very comfy in his clothes. He didn't kill him or anything. But there's something...
My mug? Why would you think that? Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone. Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash. You're not going to find me, are you? Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gam?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law. Officer, please. Let me explain. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes, Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the work. Okay. I was coming to throw.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads, against one another as they roll across.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash can, so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn humid. I'm sorry, okay?
Disgraced. No need for the histrionic, sir. It was...
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though.
The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily...
Armor? No. I mean, yes.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way. Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sale. I meant no offense, truly. Oh, yes, of course he is. I was just speaking...
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him when the lieutenant isn't here.
No. I helped Morel with research something.
After all this time with Morel, he must...
Oh, yes, the burning rhino. Morel, that's a rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the... They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head. Yeah, well, Revocol used to...
Super solid argument, Gary. Can't...
They have special ducts.
But how is this combustible fluid?
The flames are not just for decoration. During the burning rhino's mating season, local peasants call it the passion ring. Always a play. I mean, officers.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is... Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I was ashamed of what I did. And I...
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's...
Gary! What's...
Later, Morale.
No. You've got explaining to do.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots, but so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me.
We're detecting sincere contrition here.
It's okay. It was a loose end.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Seal,
They were thoroughly conservative men. He realizes suddenly.
Because I was weak.
The hell, Gary?
I'll explain later. I always thought it was the Union. Some Union hard...
This is all he knows.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one behind you. The ruins of a residential. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. I meant no offense, just...
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least 10 meters away. Other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. The sun blazes high up in the sky. A long time has passed since the abundance of bullet holes leads to 2 options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from they stand, facing the wall. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats hold the commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservative.
Remember what Trent Heidelstein said about Veld?
Another likely scenario.
Or maybe...
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation...
A cold sea...
Tequila. Tequila. Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. This is fucking filth. I'm not taking a disgusting... Either bring it back the way it was before.
You know, despite the guano, it looks like the jacket itself is stain resistant. It may just need a good scrubbing.
A familiar apparatus lie. The reeds bend forlornly toward the constant, distant song. Louder on this. This trap is also full of panic.
Another empty trap. Of course. Noted.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the...
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer? Billy Majon, you said. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago. Marie? Marie? Do you... Yes, it was my colleague, Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book.
Good. You have a name now.
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books. Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd... 1 second. Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me? One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex?
We suspect he might have been inebriated.
Any signs of violence? No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes? Any information on the library? Good. Yes. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case? Or I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send... That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. It will...
Gottlieb, what you get yourself into this time? Look, pal, getting pumped and... That's what the guys say, officer. There's some chick. You must have me confused for a close personal friend. I am not.
You hear someone whine in the background.
I didn't, but now I do. Great. Have a medal. I have...
Fucking, I'm not dead. It just hurts, okay?
Oh, it's you. I know a woman skilled at that sort of thing over in... Mm-hmm.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering.
Can I help you? You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked. What is this thing? Cool. Okay. I was really hoping not to think about the cock carousel. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess?
I feel good about our work here today.
It's not actually about that, but he liked it.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again. Goodness, how is he?
He's fine, ma'am. As we had suspected.
Oh, yes. But I am so relieved.
Now maybe she'll open up about those fascinating cryptids. Take...
Oh, you don't want to hear about some...
Reflexive.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of... I'm getting ahead of myself.
Betoncourt got bombed in the war.
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm. I tried, but I was only a child. I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk. For years, it was a story I told her. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen his face. He said our first.
The sigh is tender.
Not all of them, as far as I remember. It's hard to say how big things are when you're quiet.
What if it is the case?
Of course. I've thought about it. So how did I know what to imagine? You trying to tell us you saw the Insul Indian phasmid out there in those reeds?
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever... Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone.
Oh, I'd be delighted.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind...
He nods. Ooh, tough choice there.
The gnome of Jeroma. Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers, and a couple of campers found it when it was already dying. It still took the gnome of...
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there details?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid.
Alas. Always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly sure? A perfectly good explanation.
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one.
The lieutenant
fuck it.
Well, The smallest cryptid is the bacterial colony Mijanou. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had... Yes, the bacteria.
It's actually a little hard to see.
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now. That would be the giant of Coconut. The giant lives in the most arid part, Mirage, or no one knows for sure. The towering luminosity of
Hui.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving. There are limits, you see, to
Gravity anomaly? Digging it. Digging this parascientific.
Yes. It's the kind green. Yes, it was reported by soldiers in... Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Indeed, there is. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like...
Ma'am, you are confusing him.
Please don't misunderstand me, either of you. Though Sailites do have some distinguished...
Yes, advantages such as the flakier texture of Sailite earwax, or so I've heard. Nothing in...
What an interesting...
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And plenty. It's the evidence that led to... When playing back recordings they had made, the scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict. They realized that they had discovered an... They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they could sequester, time, Joscan, those are but some of the Mama d'Aqua. That is a sad story. A group of university... They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but Psst.
They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated.
Of course. A common thread in these. Disappearance and...
I'm glad you did, dear. What about what? I'm glad you like them, but I'm not...
You know...
Of course, officers. Is there a particular I'm glad you like me.
Several maps have been attached to the maps look old and faded. Your eye can...
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that, from when some design studio people tried to spruce the place...
The place does not look like a successful tourist.
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Slowly, you move your hand toward the map attached to the board.
Perhaps not. It's against RCM policy to defraud small business owners.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it. Something breaks loose in you.
Hello? Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs.
You hear a low rumble up.
After you, officer.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. So what kind of...
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations... Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. My rate is 10 rel. Take a look around and see if there is any particular stone.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice aren't. No falsehoods are present.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pace.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Nothing really.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're seeing...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus. Well, there's always something going on in the whirlings. During daytime, there are usually those kids.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection.
It's light here, but dark in the...
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard. It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to...
She nods.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? All right, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity? Exactly. Truth is all, but I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit.
A bit of experiment. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't.
If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
It's not really full of that. No.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair Windows 20. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff meat.
What's the snuff meat?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea. It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed Sub Rosa.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron? Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Really? Anyway. They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from... Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds...
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis...
They were just the props. Maybe you could make a sword out of one.
Fortress Accident, the radio. They were an interesting bunch. We thought they certainly took their work very... The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the... Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were...
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know how... In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And so it's producing something extraordinary. Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for it. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking... And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face...
Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always... And they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile ape. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents. Maybe. Because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that, by telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Understandable, you shouldn't do them. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under...
If the Whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. My advice, don't base your business on a fact.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been... Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing... Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work. Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools.